All right, welcome in everyone to the Dynasty Fan Podcast. I am Ryan M, and I'm joined by my brother Caleb M. How you doing today, Caleb?
Doing good, man. Judy got a big play, TD, so I'm feeling good right now with
Yeah,
my
I
Judy
think
shares.
for sure that basically won me my week. That play alone just won me my week. I got a pretty good lead going into the fourth, and he's got Javante Williams, but I'm up pretty big, so feeling pretty good in that. That's a dynasty league, so. Well, we have a good show for you today. A quick show. We just wanted to talk some quick waiver wire ads for week one. So, Caleb, who do you have for your first waiver wire ad?
All right, so my first one, it's kind of a tandem. Okay, so I got Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett, so obviously in very similar situations. We know that Keenan Allen, right, suffered seems like a hamstring injury. Not sure if he's going to be back or not yet, but they have a quick turnaround. They play Thursday, and also I really like the game because they're going to be playing against Kansas City. So I think it's going to be very high powered, high passing game script. So they're going to be Mahomes looked awesome, right? 5 TDs. So I think they're definitely going to be putting up points. And so I expect this to be a shootout. I think Herbert's going to do well, have a little bit of a bounce back game. First game was kind of weird. So I'm expecting Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett to have a good game, right, and have a good target share in that offense for Thursday. Last season, I really liked that Palmer this year. This first game had 75% snap share. So last season in the 3 games that he had basically over 60% snap share. He had double-digit points every game. It was 17.60, 15.30, and 14.30. So that was towards the end of the season. So I definitely like Palmer. Only 4 targets this first game, but I definitely like that he was on the field for 75% of the snaps. And if Keenan Allen's not going to be there, I really like the opportunity that he's going to have. And I think I'm just going to bet on the talent. I think he's the most talented out of that receiver group that's left behind Mike Williams. So definitely betting on Palmer for this Thursday. And Gerald Everett, similar, right? Just big play, upside, big body threat, athletic. So definitely like him paired with Herbert also for Thursday.
Yeah, I would agree, man. We saw that injury, and such a quick turnaround. I mean, I don't see how Allen's going to play, and if he does, is he going to be limited? How effective is he going to be? Um, And so, we know that tight end is a wasteland position. If you don't have one of those top 5, 6 guys, it can be messy. I started Irv Smith in one league, and he gave me zero,
Yeah, I
literally
started him on
zero.
league also.
And so, oh man, it's tough. So yeah, Gerald Everett's definitely, if there's a tight end that we can probably stream and pick up, it's Gerald Everett. He's tied to a great quarterback and a great offense. He has, a lot of potential there. So I definitely like that first one. All right, so my first one is going to be DJ Chark. DJ Chark had 8 targets in his first game of the year with the Lions. He was on the field for most of the game, and he's owned in less than 45% of leagues. So it's definitely somebody that I think if you need a wide receiver, I wouldn't necessarily spend big on him, but if you have a fab budget, I would definitely think that he's worth a waiver wire ad, especially because we know they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's really it at the wide receiver position. We know they have the rookie Jameson Williams, but he's more than likely out for at least the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year. And so I think DJ Chark is somebody that we could potentially use in our flexes and when we start getting closer to bye weeks. So he's my first wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely like DJ Shark, right? We know he had a big wide receiver one season, right, in 2019. So he's definitely talented, and you never know. Could be a bounce back year for DJ Chark.
Yep, absolutely. So Caleb, who's your second waiver wire pickup?
All right, so my second one I got is going to be I talked about him in the other show, but Jalen Warren, and I know this is kind of just ahead of the game a little bit because they're saying Najee is still going to play, but I just think he's just had some nagging injuries already all through training camp with that Liz Frank sprain, and then now he's banged up again. Right, he came out, didn't come back to the, didn't return. So I definitely don't like that if I'm a Najee owner. I'm worried, right? He's been banged up for basically about 4 or 5 weeks. So this is just kind of a speculative ad, kind of getting ahead of the game, I think, because Jalen Warren, that he had a good camp, right? There was a lot of positive feedback and buzz about him. He ends up beating out Anthony McFarland, who they cut, who was drafted ahead of him, right? He was undrafted, right? Jalen Warren. So beats out Anthony McFarland, who I believe was round 4. He's either 3 or 4. So he beats him out. Then he jumps Benny Snell on the depth chart as the RB2. So I just like Jalen Warren. I like the story also. So I'm just betting on Jalen Warren getting some opportunities soon. We know that offensive line for Pittsburgh is just terrible. So that's not good for Najee either. Doesn't go in his favor. So I'm just betting on Jalen Warren to get some opportunities soon.
Yeah, I also think that the injury just doesn't bode well because, like you said, it seems like this has been something that's kind of been a nagging thing throughout training camp. And then if it wasn't a big deal, like why didn't he come back in the game? You know what I mean? It's an overtime game. You're trying to win. It's a rivalry game against a divisional opponent in the Bengals. So the game's going to matter at the end, you would think, if these teams are close in their records. And so I just don't understand why he didn't come back if it wasn't a big deal. But so yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. It's somebody that he could definitely see some action if Najee, can't go this week or in weeks to come. So all right, so my second guy is Robbie Anderson. So Robbie Anderson came back from the dead. I mean, he was basically retired. Didn't he? What people weren't even sure if he wanted to play football anymore. But he's played pretty well yesterday. He had 8 targets from Baker Mayfield. He had one really big play for a touchdown, and so he's only 17% rostered. So again, if you need a wide receiver, he'd be another guy that I would probably bid on uh, to try to help me in these next couple of weeks. So definitely, if you need a wide receiver, Robbie Anderson is also somebody that's available.
Yeah, you definitely like the targets, right? 8 targets, that's good because that was more than DJ Moore. DJ Moore had 6, so and we know that Robbie Anderson, he is a field stretcher, so if he's getting targets, right, 8 targets, he's got opportunity to make some big plays. So definitely a good speculative ad for sure.
Yeah. So go ahead and give us your third player, Caleb.
So yeah, so this is my last one, my favorite one, Isaiah Pacheco, and I think this is also ahead of schedule because I don't think he will be a top waiver priority this week. But you just gotta like what you've seen and heard really all throughout training camp. He was a round 7 draft pick, and all the talk was Rojo, right? Rojo was the RB2. A lot of people were getting Rojo even like round 10 in drafts, thinking, hey, Rojo's going to be the guy, take over that backfield. And really, you just have this underdog story, Isaiah Pacheco, come out, and he's just balling out in camp and jumps McKinnon. And there was even talks where they were going to even looking to trade Rojo. They were talking about him not even making the 53-man roster. So Isaiah Pacheco definitely jumps that depth chart. And then especially the best thing about it is week 1, he goes out there and leads the team in carries. So as a rookie, right, 7th-round draft pick comes out. He had 12 carries. That was the most on the team. I think Hilaire was 9 carries behind him. So you definitely like it. And I think that it's only a matter of time where he starts adding some receptions. He got some goal line work also this first game. So I definitely like the upside of Pacheco. And then we know last year we had CH go down, even miss a few games. So Isaiah Pacheco, I think he's a guy that you could add now for cheap, and it could pay off. He has flex appeal, even like weekly flex appeal if you need it in a pinch. But just the upside there in that Chiefs offense, definitely like Pacheco.
Yeah, just the fact that he outrushed CEH in the first game of the season to me is pretty telling. Um, Even though CEH had a good game, he caught 2 touchdown passes. So, I mean, is that something you're going to be able to rely on moving forward from week to week? I mean, probably not. Um, so, yeah, I agree. I think Pacheco is somebody that we definitely need to be keeping our eye on. And if we have room on our bench to kind of stash a player, it'd definitely be somebody that I'm willing to take shots on. And I definitely have some shares of him in Dynasty. I have him a lot in some taxi squad teams. So definitely the stock is trending up, I would say, for Pacheco. Um, so my third guy is probably the most obvious out of all the guys for today, and that's Jeff Wilson. Um, Elijah Mitchell's hurt. I don't know exactly how much time he's going to miss. They're saying anywhere from a month to 2 months. I think, was that right, Caleb, or no?
I think 8 weeks. They're saying, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty serious injury. I believe it was a sprained knee. So Jeff Wilson's going to be the guy to pick up. He's only rostered in 20% of leagues, and we've seen that no matter who the guy is in that San Francisco offense, they just produce. It doesn't matter if it's Mostert, if it's you know Elijah Mitchell, if it's the other guys that they've had there in the past. They just seem to always produce whoever's given the opportunity, and so I think that Jeff Wilson is somebody that we want to be at targeting, especially if we're a little bit wide running back needy. He's somebody that can definitely help us for the foreseeable future while Elijah Mitchell is out. And I'll just say the other guys that we're kind of thinking about to go along. If you miss out on the Jeff Wilson, think about that the other guys that are in that situation as well. The other running backs that might be behind Jeff Wilson. So what do you think, Caleb?
Yeah, for sure. I like Jeff Wilson as a stash, especially for this coming week. But also, we know that Niners backfield and Shanahan, anything can happen, right? We saw it last year with they had Trey Sermon. They still just put Elijah Mitchell out there. So I would, if you bid on Jeff Wilson, I would definitely also, or you're adding Jeff Wilson, I would also put in for Jordan Mason and Tyrion Davis Price. So Tyrion Davis Price has the higher draft capital between him and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason was undrafted. Tyrion Davis Price, I think, was round 3 or 4. So I think if you're going to add anybody, right, I would go. Although Tyrion Davis Price was a healthy scratch, right, and Jordan Mason did suit out, but I think I would go Tyrion Davis Price and then Jordan Mason after that, following after Jeff Wilson. So just take a shot at the backfield, and you never know, right? And we do know that they do use multiple backs, so it could be. I don't think it's going to be the Jeff Wilson show, right? One of these guys is going to get on the field, get opportunity. If not all three, might get a little bit of touches, and then it's going to be basically the best man win, whoever looks better out there.
Yeah, you may be right. We've seen that in the past with San Francisco. So um, definitely some good options depending on what you need. Um, so do you have any more waiver wire ads, Caleb?
Yeah, I got a couple of honorable mentions for if you want to just a little extra on a receiver would be Devin Duvernay. I know he only had 4 targets, I believe it was, but he had some big plays. And we know he's a field stretcher, and Lamar does connect with field stretchers every once in a while. We know we saw it with Marquise Brown, where they would connect on some big plays. So I definitely like Devin Duvernay. He might be a popular ad, but I would take a shot on Devin Duvernay. You never know. He has some upside, definitely with Lamar, if they can get a good connection on those deep ball passes, as well as Rex Burkhead. He came out and pretty much was the lead back for Houston, right? Had a lot of reception work, had some goal line work. So that was one of our hits too. We had him on our first show, pre RBs to add before, right? Or stash our RB stashes video before the season started. So Burkhead, which he is still out there, you could still add him now.
Yeah, Burkhead is only 15% rostered on Sleeper. So yeah, he's definitely out there probably in most leagues. So I guess my last guy, which I wasn't sure, I wouldn't say he's an honorable mention, but somebody that for sure we can keep our eye on, and that's Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel for this past week, he had, I believe it was 13 targets, and they really used him all over the field. They kind of used him like in a, I say this like it's blasphemy, but they kind of used him like Debo Samuel. They moved him around the field. He had some rushes out of the backfield, some jet sweeps, and in different types of formations. It seems like they really made an effort to try to get him the ball. So I mean, is that going to continue? I mean, I'm not sure, but it's definitely something that I think that we can kind of keep our eye on. We know that it's kind of a crowded wide receiver with room with Terry McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson showed also some flashes. But yeah, I definitely think that a guy that we can kind of keep our eye on too is Curtis Samuel. He's only 13% owned as
He'll
well.
probably be the popular ad. I think our guys are a little bit more, speculative, maybe a little deeper in there.
Yeah, I
Not the
just
obvious
don't.
ones.
Yeah, I agree. I just not sure if I don't know, that week one, I don't know if I want to blow
Yeah,
all my
buying into
bad.
it.
not blowing all my fat to get Curtis Samuel in week 1, But if
And
I
the
can get him
injury
for
history.
cheap, yeah, if I can get him for cheap, then I'd probably, definitely take some shots in
I want to
some
mention
leagues.
one more. So I forgot to mention him, but Christian Watson, I think too, he's 41% rostered, and I just think he just has some big play upside as well. With Aaron Rodgers, they didn't connect on a deep ball, but if they connect on that, it's just a different story, right? So just another name to throw out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whether Aaron Rodgers likes him or not, he's going to have to trust somebody. Somebody's going to have to be viable
Yeah.
because, they just looked really bad. And so moving forward, yeah, like that's a good, definitely a good game name to know moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's our show for today. Let us know what you guys think. You guys have a good week, and we'll see you soon.